Today is about you and how we can save tax for your company. Whenever I get a new client, there's certain things that I run through them. It's almost like a financial health assessment that I do with all our clients. Something smaller, but it's also worth mentioning, especially these days when a lot of people actually work remotely. So this is not today is all about entrepreneurs and the content is for entrepreneurs, but um, there are also SARS also issued now something that you could always do, but obviously with everybody working remotely now, you can, if you're an employee and you work from home remotely, you can also use this office expense as a deduction in your income tax return for next year, 2021. But in this case, my focus is on entrepreneurs and how they can deduct home office expenses as well. So very important that the calculations are very strict on how you need to do that. You need to calculate the business square meters of your total house, and obviously also the total square meters of the house to get a pro rata kind of a calculation that you can do. And that business portion of the business square meters to the total square meters must be exclusively used. And that's very important. It must be exclusively used for business. So a lot of people would argue I meet with my clients in my dining room and therefore I need to be able to deduct it. Or I show them presentations or slides on my television and I want to claim my whole living room. So it's very important that if you have a study or if you have a room in your house, that you only use that portion. Normally, I suggest to clients it can't really be more than 20%. 20% is more or less the average and the rate to go on home office expenses. And then obviously again, you can do this calculation. I will actually show you the calculation just now, but you can do it on two different ways. So either you own a home or you rent a home. So if you rent a home, the calculation is very easy because you would work according to your rent paid. If you own a home, you will work according to your finance charges that's on your bond. So it's not your bond repayment, but your actual finance charges on your bond. But I'm listening here, beware, because the day that you sell your home, you get your personal residence home, you get a capital gains rebate of 2 million rand in the capital gains tax and capital gains that you actually make. When you use this formula of home office expense, that portion of the business square meters need to be deducted and reversed on that 2 million rand rebate. So there's something to be aware of as well. It might be great in the short term to actually deduct the home office expenses, but in the long run, with the deduction for the capital gains tax, it might negatively influence you. So just discuss that with your accountant before you want to do that. But let's look at the calculation. I've done a calculation for us. So in this case, I've just tried to list as much as possible of the ideas that I could think of. In my example, I use the rent paid. So if you own a property, you won't use the rent paid, obviously, but you would use the finance charges that you get from your bond. Right, so typical ideas for home office expenses: guardian services, insurance, levies. If you're in a kind of a body corporate environment or property, rates and taxes, rent paid, and then security. And then you would from there get a total, add back according to your business portion, so your square meters to the total square meters, and that 93,000 is actually the amount that you will get as a deduction in your income tax return.
Thank you for watching. Just a quick reminder to grab your gift pack for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift pack for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift pack voucher in the link below and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that.
And the last thing that I've got on my list before I go to the Q&A, because I really want to go to the Q&A, and hopefully a lot of people would ask some questions regarding the tax, because I think that's more important than me rambling and going on about a few ideas. So I think more importantly, let's get through the last one, and then I'm going to open it up and give you some time for Q&A if there's anything that you want to ask, or even just give me a comment. Just give me some ideas. And right, so the last thing, and that's again, it's very important for employees with the travel allowance as well. If you're sole proprietor, entrepreneur, and sole proprietorship, very important, because SARS really all sole proprietors a lot currently. They really grind them, and I can't see that we'll get any better getting out of lockdown. So very important, a few ideas regarding a logbook. Most people, when I ask them, do you have a logbook, they would tell me yes. And then when I ask them to start explaining to me what's in their logbook, they would tell me every time I put in some petrol, I write down in the book the amount that I've put into the vehicle. That is not what SARS looking at. SARS want a proper logbook, but you will see every single day. They want every single day and every single trip. So you will see my example. There's November 20 November. There was some private kilometers. Then the next day there was some private kilometers, and then the next day this client came to Dryk Holdings, the accountant, the US Vlakte, and they drove that amount of kilometers. On the same day, they also drove some private kilometers that they also listed. So it's important that you list every single day, but also every single trip in that specific day. So, and then further to that, private isn't really that important. So private, you can just list private, but any business trip, you need to state exactly where you've been. In this case, Dryk Holdings, what you're doing at Dryk Holdings is my accountant, and where are they? They're in US Vlakte in Cape Town. So you need to go through each and every person that you visit and really log that. So I would suggest any person doing that to really log your logbook, and maybe rather get something like an e-logbook. There's e-loggers and all kinds of things. Real Last is also on here. They own a company, Secure Track, and part of their system, they can also assist you with tracking your kilometers, and obviously mapping the locations as well. So very, very, very might be a good idea to be in contact with us, and maybe us to locate it to Rihanna as well. But I can't stress this enough. You can't deduct any expenses regarding your vehicle, depreciation, interest on the hire purchase, fuel, repairs, maintenance, insurance, licenses, whatever else there might be on your vehicle. You can't claim any of those expenses if you don't have a proper logbook. And SARS are really focusing on these logbooks, and that's one of the biggest items that they, on a constant basis, throw out on an assessment, and or at least write back, whatever you want to call it. So very important. This logbook need to be so detailed that you will almost get nightmares when you actually do that.